Configuring Amplify GraphQL API caching is a straightforward process that can significantly improve the performance of your application. To get started, you need to understand the basics of Amplify and GraphQL. Amplify is a development platform that helps you build, deploy, and manage scalable mobile and web applications, while GraphQL is a query language for APIs that allows for more flexible and efficient data retrieval. The first step in configuring Amplify GraphQL API caching is to set up Amplify in your project. This involves installing the Amplify CLI and initializing Amplify in your project. Once you have set up Amplify, you can create a new GraphQL API using the Amplify CLI. This will generate a schema for your API and create a new GraphQL API in your Amplify project. Next, you need to configure caching for your GraphQL API. This involves setting up a caching layer that can store the results of frequent queries. Amplify provides a built-in caching mechanism that uses a cache store to store the results of queries. You can configure the cache store to use a specific cache engine, such as Redis or DynamoDB. To configure caching for a specific query, you need to add a cache directive to the query. The cache directive specifies the cache store to use in the TTL for the cached result. For example, you can add a cache directive to a query like this: query, fetch users at cache, TTL 300. Closing curly bracket. This will cache the result of the query for 5 minutes. Another important aspect of configuring Amplify GraphQL API caching is cache invalidation. Cache invalidation involves removing cached results when the underlying data changes. Amplify provides a cache invalidation mechanism that allows you to invalidate cached results when the underlying data changes. You can configure cache invalidation to occur when a specific mutation is executed, or when a specific event occurs. Best practices for configuring Amplify GraphQL API caching include using a cache store that is optimized for your use case, configuring cache invalidation to occur when the underlying data changes, and monitoring cache hit rates to optimize cache performance. By following these best practices, you can effectively configure Amplify GraphQL API caching to improve the performance of your application. In conclusion, configuring Amplify GraphQL API caching is a straightforward process that involves setting up Amplify, creating a GraphQL API, configuring caching, and configuring cache invalidation. By following the steps outlined in this guide and using best practices, you can effectively configure Amplify GraphQL API caching to improve the performance of your application.